Hey, so how can you adjust to an ever evolving Amazon marketplace as a seller? In this video, you're going to discover some tips that are going to be relevant for the right now, but also for the future. And today with me, Guy, with RPGECom, Amazon seller. Also, they run agency, RPG. I've been a client of RPG. Also, we have done a lot of content previously with Guy. We have met numerous times, and first time we're recording in English. So I'm glad to have Guy here. He has some cool things to share with us based on a lot of experience on Amazon. Yeah, Guy, can you introduce yourself, man? And then we're going to dive into the content.
Of course. So happy to be here. It's always fun to do content with you, man. I
Yeah,
really like
man.
so yeah, it's about time that we do something online as well. So yeah, my name is Guy, originally from Israel, living right now in Greece with my family. Keep doing whatever I like, which is Amazon, breathe and live Amazon FBA, private label. That's what we do. Yes, I'm also the owner of and the CEO of RPGECom. It's been already like 8 years, I think, since we started to provide some services, and still here,
Yeah,
kicking and biting. So
nice.
that's exactly what I wanted to discuss as well today: how we can kick and fight back with what is going on in our industry overall, in the e-commerce world in general, in Amazon in particular. I'm a seller as well, so it meets me from different angles. So from one angle as a service provider, that I
Yeah.
need to be always cope with the top practices and strategies and to adjust myself as a service provider, but also as a seller. We have an in-house division of brands in RPG.com, so we cooperate with different brands, and we have our own brands that we establish from scratch. So it's always relevant to discuss what is happening and what is going on.
Yeah, definitely, man. I will remind our viewers in the description, we're going to have a link to your website where they can see different services that you offer. Personally, we have used your services, say, of 3D image, which is still selling in Amazon Canada on one of our products and still bringing sales. So I'm grateful. Good investment that was done in 2020, man. And the
Yeah.
image is still doing well. We're in the top there in our grilling accessories product. So thank you for that. So for the viewers, the link. Also, if you mention the viewer, my name, Vova, if you ever speak with the guys, then you might get some good offer. Yeah. And myself, if you ever do business with RPG, I'm going to get a little commission from the deal. So this way we can all grow. And thank you for that. So, guy, yeah, man, like let's dive into the stuff. So what do you think? Like
Love
how
your
to,
love your transparency.
yeah, just what can do?
When we
Why
have a
not?
new English website, a Canadian, by the way, so it's rpgecom.ca. Provide the link as well, so you can have all the data from these websites. Okay, so look, what drove me to also to initiate this talk was one of the latest news from Amazon, where they had a conference in China, and they just spoke on this on the stage and announced that they're going to launch a platform or a specific area like a page on Amazon.com for unbranded products directed from Chinese suppliers to an end customer in the United States, which was a boom, huge boom. Everybody talked about it in the industry in the last 2 weeks. And this is Amazon way to kind of fight back with Temu. For those who doesn't know what Temu is, you can just Google it. And this is a new marketplace that is really killing it in United States with the highest subscribers ever, like in the first year. And
Hmm.
they are offering very, very cheap products, B2C, directly from Chinese suppliers with like ridiculous prices. And Amazon see that, and she can't be really indifferent to that. This is huge news, mainly because there's like millions of private label sellers in the world that's selling on Amazon, and they're just the opposite. They're providing high value products. They're trying to brand it. Like Amazon was constantly telling us in the last year, go brand, right? Everything is related to brand and branding, and all the tools and the features and everything that Amazon wants to direct us is towards being a brand. And then suddenly guys forget about it. Here is the open door for you Chinese to sell unbranded products just to make it cheap. And obviously, there will be millions that will look for bargains and for discounts. So, what does it mean for us? So, if we will think about it, it's not like the first bomb that Amazon kind of releases. Every couple of years, we have like something serious going on. And we're still here, man.
Hmm.
We're still here, like
Yeah.
almost a decade doing Amazon private label. So, First of all, just to calm you down, guys, you
Hmm.
can you will go through it as well. Okay, you cannot expect a market not to change and not to
Very interesting.
adapt to different things that are going on. So we can also be very critical to Amazon. Amazon is doing business. Amazon is trying to adjust itself to her competition, exactly as we guys, the sellers, need to adjust ourselves to what is going on. So no hard feelings here. There is no place in emotions in terms of like doing business. So we need to have like business decisions about our business. So I'm going to discuss three main things, how we can adjust ourselves to what is going on. And this is tips that are related to how I see things are developing. So obviously, we already see an influx of Chinese sellers coming into the market from 2017 and 18. That made them like half of the sellers in the United States. And, the other half is us, non-Chinese, but, buying from China products. So in the end, it ends up like with 95% of the products in United States are kind of from China. Mark my words, if you buy from a supplier, you will never be able to compete with him or a different, seller who is the supplier himself. Never. Okay, because you're a middleman in the end. So they need to profit on you. So obviously you will buy it from in much more expensive price. So what we saw in many categories, and also I run an agency, so I always have the privilege to see patterns on many accounts, and you see that there's every year there's a new couple of categories that start to suffer from a starvation in pricing downwards. So you see the new Chinese coming and the new sellers are coming with better prices, sometimes the same product, even maybe better version or better product, yet very nice and cheaper pricing. I can say from my own experience that after COVID, one of the brands that we did an exit on, right after we sell it off, there was an influx of Chinese dropping, like cutting the price in half. And the people that bought from us was an Israeli family office, very established and wealthy family office. And they was shocked, like the brand they just bought, like is diving down. And what we did there is thinking like Chinese. We had these products selling for $80. It was whiskey decanters and different whiskey things. And for 70, $80, and nobody was selling, was buying it. Like it was crashing. We saw how the brand is going to die. And then we just, okay, we need to adjust. We took off the set some items to make it cheaper. We dive into like in glasses, you have different materials for glasses or thickness. So we figure out how to make it cheaper, like 30-40% less for ourselves. That allowed us to bring in new variations, cheaper variations, in order to compete with the Chinese. And it worked because we had the brand awareness, we had the reviews, and we already the organic positions. Did not change. The only thing that changed was our offer. And when we brought in new variations cheaper, we could fight back and gain some market share and stay relevant in the game. So my first tip will be like think how you can, not make your product worse, but smarter, lean. Do you investigate the value that you're providing? Is it a real value that people will be willing to pay so much? Or maybe you can let it go and just be competitive. Just, it's a Libra. What is more important for you? Fighting for this value, for this brand awareness and saying I'm the biggest, I'm the best, I'm the top quality, or bottom line, money, like staying with market share. So we need to be less emotional, much more practical in this, and think about less pricey variations as a way to stay in the game and take advantage of that assets that are not changing and still you have them, as I mentioned, which is the listing. One thing to do that is renegotiate with the suppliers. China is going through a very big crisis right now, the economic crisis. They're not really recovering from the COVID. By the way, there is still COVID, still hits in China. We just don't hear about it.
Yeah.
But it's still there. You guys don't know that very soon in November, there is a very high probability that Donald Trump gonna be a president once again. in the United States. And how to say it, he's not really a big fan of China. In his first cadention, he was like, introducing a lot of fees on customs. And I don't think it's going to change. The economic war between United States and China is going to escalate for sure in the next year. And you need to do something that I call it risk management. Guys, you need a risk management in your business, the same as if you like were a physical business or if you was a factory or anything else. Because we always say, right, that private label is a business for sure, like a real business. So why don't you have a risk management for your business? What will happen if your Chinese supplier will disappear tomorrow? Or I don't know, your product price will be double or 20%. Anyway, Amazon is increasing FBA fees and placement bids, fees, and all the fees are just raising and raising. So you will end up in the end with no business. So you need to think about the next day, or it's so close. It's November is around the corner. So it will happen. I'm not saying that it will be immediate effect, but definitely it will affect 2025. Fifth. And look for different suppliers in different countries. You heard me saying that in Sofia in Bulgaria in amazing days. I will say it again. It's just about going and checking and have a grit, sit on your ass and checking this, because we are sometimes feel comfortable in our safe zone with our supplier, with our relationship, and we don't really think about trying to negotiate with him, or even worse for us, like trying to have a plan B. But you should, guys, and believe me, whatever you are buying right now from your supplier, there are dozen else place in China or in any other countries, more suppliers that can provide you the same product or even better with much more competitive pricing. You just need to go and check it. Okay, so this is one thing. The other one is logistics. Okay, we say this every time, like logistics is like such a huge topic and everybody understands it's important. But no, guys, you are not really understanding how much it's important. And we saw in the last months in the agency how dramatic the change in sales and the sale velocity, the traffic, and the exposure on Amazon when you don't have sufficient inventory levels. And Amazon is really punishes you. They do that, in a very smart way. If you, and now they also introduce like the low inventory fee. So if you have a low inventory for a well-selling product, you're gonna be punished. If you have an overstock for a product that is not selling well, you're still gonna be punished. So like all the universe is telling you, you need to really master your supply chain. And, in the beginning, and most of the sellers are working on themselves with a couple of VAs maybe. They don't have anyone who has sufficient knowledge about logistics and supply chain. And they're doing the logistics on their own. They can consult with their forwarder, but in the end, the forwarder is not sitting in their account. They're not, monitoring their inventory levels. And some of the people are maybe using some softwares, which is a little bit better to monitor levels. But it's mainly, the difficulty is mainly because of one, the cash flow that you really need to maintain a very healthy supply chain, and some kind of, let's call it like risk taking, because you know that you want to send everything, for example, and ship everything by the sea and not by the air because it's super expensive. But in order to do that, sometimes you need to reorder very quickly. You don't have the cash flow for that. You need sometimes to order more than you think that you're gonna sell. The way that Amazon is working, the algorithm, it's very critical to understand the idea of a snowball effect, how Amazon wants you to work. Amazon wants you to like start to roll over this snowball and never end it. Like it's an evergreen snowball that you need to play the game. Until you have 100% market share, you're not there. And this is also why nobody really have 100% market share, because it's just impossible. But you can be just better than what you are right now, to maintain sufficient inventory. By the way, it's also not impossible, because Amazon will not let it. They will not allow somebody to be the top leader with 100% share, because they need money from fees and from advertising. They cannot give all the cake to one seller. They need to kind of the
Yes.
game. So it's impossible anyway. But we really need to understand where we want to go in terms of sales. Be ready to invest. Unfortunately, this year and next year, it will just become more and more critical to have the cash flow. And this is, it takes me back to 7, 8 years ago when people thought they can build an Amazon business from a couple of thousands, which is possible. You can sell everything that you in any price on Amazon. It's possible, but in order to scale, it's a different game. Okay, nobody speaks about the scaling. Everybody speaks about how much it costs you to open a business on Amazon, how much it costs you to order your first product, your second product, but nobody speaks about scaling. And guys, you're here to scale. You want to sell more, you want to profit more. Otherwise, I don't know what you're doing. You're not in the game. You're not here to just to say how much units you sold, how much revenue you had.
Yeah.
You need to work on the profit margins, and this is actually the biggest ache and pain. And you need to think, out of the box how to do that. So yes, sometimes you have a lot of services that offer you some loans, and you can think about partnerships. We started, for example, we have a community on Facebook. So we started to mediate between people that want to invest in Amazon businesses or in digital assets, and people that are brand owners on Amazon that need and understand that they need the cash flow and the money. So we figure out that there is a need from both of these areas. So if you are a seller and you need the cash flow, really think about maybe having a partner in percentage, for some shares maybe from the brand, or maybe for a loan. If you have a sustainable, growth, a sustainable sales volume that you can really lean on, you can maybe pay off this loan, but there is no other way you can really grow without, investing more and having the cash flow to grow. And you need it for everything. And it's just not only for Amazon business, for any business. If you want to grow, you have a restaurant, you want another porch, you want 10 more tables, you need to invest, you need to buy these things, and you need more staff, and you need everything. So it's really relevant to every business, especially for Amazon. I do understand it's difficult. It's a difficult decision, to have partners in or take loans, put more risk on the stakes that anyway we are putting every day on Amazon. But this is the game. Sorry, if you are not doing this, someone else will do that. Someone else will eat your market share, and it's a game to the down to the down. The third thing that I wanted to discuss, and the last one, is diversify your products, or let's say the line of the products, and think, maybe it will not be that sexy to say that, but think less brand, and think less branding and less micro brand maybe, and think more opportunistic kind of vision. And this is exactly what is going on. We started and see how I made the closure with Temu and Amazon, because this is what is going on right now in the market, in the industry. The hugest marketplace like Amazon is thinking less brand, is thinking less branding. They want to invite, and they opens the door for this. And it will be really stupid of us, staying on the side, seeing Amazon doing that, and not, adjust ourselves towards this as well. So I know that everywhere we've been taught how much branding is important and how much value is important. But guys, this is the most difficult thing right now, to bring in a product that is really, really full of value in a competitive price. It's almost impossible because of what we just said with the Chinese, the competition, the logistics, and everything. So if you cannot play this game, change the game or adjust yourself to a different game. Think, I gave one example with the variations and bring in cheaper variations, but also if you think about launching new products, maybe you want to change your way how you're gonna launch them, as instead of complement products to your brand, or maybe thinking about products that are related to the brand. Think about things that are just going to sell well. Okay, I will give a couple of examples. One example can be products that are evergreen, that people will buy all the time, consumable things. It can be from food, drinks, cutlery, disposable things, paper towels, different rags, cloths, cleaning supplies. Because if you think about Americans look on Amazon like their grocery store sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like they buy things on an everyday basis. They're not looking only for the special commodities, presents, nice sets, branded products. They also look for just good bargains or simple products. And think about like things like that. The best way is just imagine what you are buying in the supermarket over day for yourself or for your home, and just imagine that you are in the shoes of your buyers, and if you need these things, obviously they need it as well. And then of course I told this tip for someone, and then he said like, yeah, but this niches on Amazon, they are the most saturated, like for example toilet paper, it's like the third most sellable product
Yeah.
on Amazon, of course, and you have their Amazon private labels and so on. But the cake is so huge, and the revenue is so huge that even if you will have like, I don't know, 0.3% out of the market, you will do the same money as you will do right now, being in like a very niche subcategory with your brand, with your commodity product. So again, think more simple business called decision making, less about evergreen brand that's gonna evolve. Of course, it's a different strategy. I have nothing against building a long-term brand. Of course, it works and it will always works. But if you are struggling with your own brand, sometimes in the
Mm.
middle of the struggle, double down on your brand might not be the good decision for the upcoming changes. And you will want to diversify maybe with the simplest thing. Just sell things that people want to buy in a simple and much more impulsive way on Amazon, I think. And this approach, I guess, will simplify also the product hunting, the branding, the costs that are relevant to building a brand, the outside traffic, all the assets that you need to build around your e-commerce brand. It just simplifies a lot the life of the brand owner. And believe me, I'm doing that. So I'm speaking from experience. You can see the same numbers with much less efforts. And in the end, like this kind of adaptation is a must. We see it everywhere in every industry. If you don't adjust, and we always say that Amazon is a very hyper dynamic marketplace. So it's just gonna be even worse, I think, in terms of changes because of the global changes, social, economic, political changes. Everything is gonna be related to this, and you guys need to have some kind of risk management and have this kind of holistic vision, like we do in the agency. We look on every part in the business in any segment. You cannot, concentrate only on PPC or doing very high quality images and believing that that will be the solution for your conversion. No, it's a puzzle. These puzzles with 10,000 pieces, so small. The problem with Amazon that it's like a never-ending puzzle. All the time there's new things, new pieces that you need to add to your puzzle, and it's not something that you can complete. All the time you need to work on this puzzle and just downbreak every segment or your business and try to dive into it, make it more efficient. Efficiency, lean margin, lean operations, margins. This in the end will be the solutions for sellers in the upcoming, year and a half. And we'll need to do another video maybe in the end of 25 to see if it continues or not. But for sure, like the next 18 months, that's gonna be a big change.
Yeah, thank you for sharing all the 3 points. I mean, first one, you mentioned that if you have already, let's say, some assets or you already have some products, you can think what you can do with that stuff already with that asset. I'll give an example from our brand. So we got approached by an aggregator. I'll share their name. It's Accel Club, maybe you know. I think they actually find it valuable, actually. But what they're doing is they're telling you, hey, you have an ASIN selling in US. You have like significant amount of reviews. They usually want over 1,000, but we have a product selling relatively well with 800, say. And they told us, hey, we take the product under our management in Europe. Like you can give us the supply chain or just sell to us, sort of. Depends on how offhands you want it to be. And we give you percentage of the earnings, and there's like some payment terms you agree on. Because like, look, we have started like, I guess, Europe process quite a while ago, but then, we found out there's so much stuff to register, and we somehow decided to concentrate on what's already working, US, Canada. And suddenly guys from Accel Club reached out, and they said, hey, do you want to do that? Like I said, yeah, let's try. So we're now in process of the first product, trying like this. So that's kind of diversifying the assets, right? So we have the asset, we have the reviews, and that's one way. So for those who are listening, maybe you can talk to me and I can connect you to Accel Club. But I don't know, maybe you guys do that in the agency too. I don't know, maybe you take under your management in Europe if you have brands from US, and then they can sell through you. I don't know if you do that. If you do, we can, of course, you can mention as well. I just don't know, stuff like
Not
that.
only Europe, it's just different partnerships models that you can think about. What you are speaking about is that you diversified a little bit your business by doing some partnerships. And that's what exactly what I'm saying. Think about partnering with the supplier, with a different one, with an investor, with anyone. Just think out of the box.
Yeah, so that's something you mentioned. Also reviews, and then launch if you have a live product and then you have the reviews, you can launch a cheaper variation, which I never really thought of. Like, I mean, we so far have mostly launched more expensive variations for products, and that's nice. But on the other hand, if you have the cheaper one, then you might get more traffic because you have the cheap offer, right? But I guess then you have to adjust your PPC and stuff like that to, what do you think? Maybe you have some little case study on that or something, you know what I mean? Like, that would
The
be cool.
idea of a cheaper variation is perceive it as a lead magnet. That's the idea. In the end, people are looking for bargains. Most of the people you will, see 800 reviews, but a cheaper option on the market, they will go into this listing, then do your cross-selling with the more expensive, variations. Yes, the strategy usually is driving traffic and PPC on these low, cheaper, variations, and you will even usually sometimes lose money on those, but you don't care because you will see that you have cross-selling. People clicked on the cheap variation, but it ended up with buying your triple or double expensive one. And so in the end, it's worth it. It's just a strategy. Think on psychological behavior of the buyers, and it will be much more clearer.
Yeah. So basically, that's on the first point, I guess. Second point, you mentioned your logistics, right? So improving that part. So I would understand that you're saying like try to cut the lead times if you somehow can by negotiating with the forwarder that you have, or improving your maybe game with the 3PL logistics that you're having, maybe negotiating again, trying to, if I understand correctly, negotiate different things, payment terms. I'll plug in here for logistics, Amit here. It's hard with the camera, but that's Eli and Amit from basically Amit Rosenthal with the Proboxx. The Eli Ventura is like Amazon seller consultant. So they have Amazon Talk, which is mostly in Hebrew, but maybe people can find that podcast useful. But you're one of the first guests there, if not the first one, man. Aren't you the
I'm the
first
first
guest?
one.
Yeah,
I'm the
yeah,
first
yeah.
podcast.
You're the first. Yeah. So
You're totally right. You can argue anything in this world, in today's industry. You have like hundreds of service providers for everything, and you just need to be a smart buyer, exactly as your buyers on Amazon are smart buyers.
Interesting.
You have suppliers, you have warehouses, you have forwarders, you have product hunting service. I don't know, anything. You can always look for cheaper options and be just smarter. And if you like some guys to work and you want to work with them, you just want to negotiate with them. Be just blunt. Come to them and say, "Hey, I got an offer from this and this. Can you maybe match the offer? I want to work more with you. I want to order more. I want to ship more. I want to supply more. So, help me. It's a good karma. And in the end, we do business with people. So don't be shy to, negotiate anything. In the end, it's your business, it's your income.
Yeah.
Some people are living on these incomes.
Yeah. The third point you mentioned, guys, basically, which is interesting. Like if you're saying still, of course, brand and all that matters. You can create a line of products. But if I understand you correctly, let's say you're doing product research, you found an emerging product that is not in your brand even maybe launch. Just
Something
thinking
very unsexy. something that you don't have a clue about it. I will give you an example. I saw like a screwdriver or a small, pieces that are related to some tools. And there is a lot of products like on Amazon that people buy different parts to match their appliances at home, for example. So if they have like an electric screwdriver or of Black & Decker, for example, so you can just sell some additional parts of it. And people are looking directly for these things. This is our kind of branded keywords. People are looking for, let's say, case, phone case like for iPhone. This is the same analogy. And you can sell parts, like find a lot of parts that are related to different products and brands, and be careful with this, because sometimes some brands you can mention their name or not in the listings, but anyway, it's just thinking out of the box. It doesn't really necessarily need to be part of your brand. If it makes you money, you want it.
Interesting. Well, in the description, I'm going to have the link to RPGECom, Guy's agency. As I mentioned, I've worked with the guys. I know Guy for many, many years. We have recorded some content in I guess mostly in Hebrew. But that's in English. So that's interesting to do that. Maybe we'll record.
I keep all the secrets for ourselves. Let's tell them in English to everyone. So that's
why not? Yeah, why not? We can grow together. Then it's like, it's mutual help. Even though kind of we're sellers, we're kind of competing sometimes with each other, but still we can help each other, I think, and it's good. That's so
the cake is huge, guys.
Yeah, in the description again, we're gonna have a link to RPGECom. If you ever mention this video or my name, Vova, then you're gonna get good offers from the guys. They actually have multitude of services for Amazon sellers, kind of all in one agency for a seller. So, and I guess guys, you're offering more and more different solutions for sellers. So through the description, people can read in English. Yeah, guy, anything last you want to mention before we wrap up this video?
I will just say that, guys, reach out if you have a problem, if you have a question. Believe me, I never charge money for something that I can just tip someone or connect someone. And I know that you are as well like this. That's maybe why we are friends. Guys, if I can help you and it doesn't cost me, I will definitely not charge you. So in the end, you will come up with some maybe value or tips. And if you will end up with understanding, we can help you. So of course, there can also provide some services and different things. Anyway, we can help definitely. I've been in the industry for too long. I see everything. I saw everything, and I still keep, adjusting. So hopefully you will adjust as well with our tips today. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the motivation. Let's go. And thank you, guy. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.